Hey guys, today I will be reviewing the Pixel 3 XL after using it for about 3 months already. I will still be doing a long-term review for this device after 6 months or so, as I did with my Pixel 2 XL, which you can find it linked in the description down below, right under that like button. However, today I would like to contrast this short-term review with my experience of using the previous version of the Google Pixel phones and how much of a worthy upgrade is this one if you already have the original Pixel or especially the Pixel 2 and 2 XL. So first, I would like to mention that this year, aside from all the usual stuff we have been seeing in the box with the Pixel phones, Google has also included a pair of USB Type-C earbuds, which sort of resemble the Google's Pixel Buds, the way they look and how the ear wings function. Only these are not wireless. And the sound quality is okay and nothing amazing. And it's good to have them as backup for when I'm on a long trip and my Bluetooth earbuds die on me or something. However, so far I have never needed them, as the Jaybird X3s I'm using with this phone have quite a decent battery life. And by the way, you can see the review for these Jaybirds in the description of this video as well. Aside from this, it also includes the USB Type-C to USB-A OTG adapter, the Type-C to 3.5 mm adapter, and the 18-watt fast charger. A pretty well-equipped box for a current flagship smartphone, especially if you look at what Apple offers with its phones, which is basically the phone, the earbuds, and a 5-watt charger. Now this year too, Google has stuck to its guns and still went with a single camera on the back, while most of the other flagships and the mid-range devices came out with two and more cameras. And what was even more surprising is that they placed two cameras in front of the device. This either meant that Google is extremely confident in their single camera capabilities or they just didn't have time to adapt to the current trends. Or maybe both, which I'm more inclined to believe because how very little thought they put behind the general design of the Pixel 3 phones. And of course, I'm mainly talking about the infamous notch on the XL variant, which is proudly staring at you with those googly eyes, pun intended. And so from all the tests and comparisons found online, it turned out that Google's camera is still capable to compete and dominate for the most part with the rest of the multi-camera setups found on the other flagship phones. Thanks to its superior image processing technology, which was ahead of its time when it just hit the market with the first Pixel phones and only got better on the Pixel 2 devices. However, the core differences between the camera found on a Pixel 2 and Pixel 3 phones are close to negligible, as some of the features like night sight are already officially supported on Pixel 2 and Pixel 1 devices thanks to Google. The rest of the features like Top Shot, motion tracking autofocus, the photo booth are already ported by XDA community for the older Pixel phones. I will leave the download links for those modes for you in the description of this video if you want. So while Google still got it in terms of camera technology on Pixel phones, the cameras on the leading flagships like Galaxy S10, iPhone XS, and especially the Huawei P30 Pro are getting dangerously close and even suppressing in some aspects like optical zoom and wide angle capabilities. So the Pixel 4 will most likely, as per the leaks, have more than one main camera, and I'm very curious to see what Google will do with the extra sensors. Because so far, they have been squeezing the maximum potential out of the single sensor they've got, and I have high hopes with Google's future developments of cameras. And to answer the question whether it's a worthy upgrade from any prior Pixel device to Pixel 3. I need to go way back to tell you about my experience so that you can make conclusions for yourselves. I remember having the Nexus 6P and being quite satisfied with all things considered. Clean OS, timely updates, good AMOLED display, and front-facing stereo speakers. And then I got my Pixel 2 XL, and despite all the controversies, mainly to do with its display, the upgrade in performance was so drastically better that 6P felt utterly sluggish in comparison with it. Plus, the camera upgrade with beautiful features like portrait mode and generally superior image processing with the addition of the visual core chip made it worthiest mobile upgrade I have ever had. However, if you try to contrast my feelings of upgrading from Pixel 2 XL to Pixel 3 XL, I gotta tell you that I definitely didn't have the same excitement as I did with my previous upgrade, as the difference in performance was not as impressive, nor was the camera leaps and bounds better than the one on a Pixel 2 XL. From all the camera tests between the two, I have noticed a very small difference in the actual image quality, and the only real difference was in the added features on the camera app, like night sight, super res zoom, top shot, motion tracking autofocus, photo booth, which, as I already mentioned previously, if you're willing to put the slightest bit of effort in site loading and APK, most of these features you can already get on your Pixel 1 and 2 devices, ported in various degrees of success. So if the general device and camera performances are not reasons to upgrade from Pixel 2 to 3, then what are the reasons to upgrade? The most notable upgrade, in my opinion, is the display panel quality on the XL version of the phone. As the panel on the Pixel 2 XL was almost universally disliked, most of the units shipped after the first production cycle had issues with the quality and calibration of the LG made OLED panel, and although my unit didn't seem to have all these issues, I could still see a notable upgrade with my Pixel 3 XL's display. Here I should also mention the design improvements for the Pixel 3 over Pixel 2, which look completely ridiculous with those giant bezels on the top and bottom of the phone. I do also prefer the flat structure of the display glass as opposed to the one on the Pixel 2 XL, which made it almost impossible for me to find a decent screen protector for it. And the next upgrade I should mention is the secondary front-facing wide-angle camera sensor, which is probably the main reason why Pixel 3 XL has such a giant notch to begin with. However, it makes it almost worth having it there considering how useful it is to capture group selfie shots, as this is how I mostly use the front-facing camera anyway. It is very rarely that I would make a selfie of myself alone, so I have been enjoying the wide-angle lens a lot as it made so much easier to capture more in the shot without needing a selfie stick or trying to figure out who's the one in the group with the longest arm to take a picture. The other novelty on the Pixel 3 is of course the wireless charging, which has been made possible as the new Pixels are now made of glass. You can watch my Pixel 2 XL video review to hear what I think about the current trend of glass phones and the wireless charging that usually come coupled with them. But for today, I will just be focusing on this device and its features. Google has also released its own wireless charger, the Pixel Stand, which can provide up to 10 watts of power. In other words, it supports fast wireless charging. But aside from that, the charger also has some tricks up its sleeve. As when you place the phone on to charge, it also activates some kind of stationary mode on the phone, turning it into a Google Home device with a screen, which you can use by shouting commands to it to control your smart home devices and perform other daily tasks which you would able to perform with an ordinary Google Home. This is quite neat if you don't already have a Google Home yet, or if you like the idea of having a screen on your Google Home. If you already own a Pixel 2 XL, the Pixel 3 XL isn't a necessary upgrade, I would say. as the difference is not as pronounced as if you were to compare it with the first gen Pixel device, where you have plenty upgrades in performance, camera, build quality, water resistance, front-facing speakers, and wireless charging if it is important for you. But that's to be expected as there is a 2-year gap between them. Also, there is a strong argument for buying the Pixel 2 XL over the Pixel 3 XL as they can be found for quite a lot cheaper and the value you get from Pixel 2 XL is very close to the one provided by Pixel 3 XL. It is a little less so when choosing between the standard Pixel 2 and the Pixel 3. While the Pixel 2 is cheaper, the design of the Pixel 3 is noticeably better. The chunky bezels of the Pixel 2 are just way too much to handle in the day and age of bezel-less devices. Still, the Pixel 2 XL is cheaper than brand new Pixel 3 as well, so unless you really prefer smaller phones, it is the obvious choice, I guess. So, if you own and love a first gen Pixel, trading it for a Pixel 3 is pretty much a no-brainer, unless you really don't need all those improvements mentioned above, as the device itself is still snappy and the camera is more than decent. There is just one problem, the battery, which degrades day by day, and at the break of the second year mark, it can be a major deal breaker, as the level of the degradation cannot be ignored unless you can replace the battery. In which case, go ahead and use it for another 2 years, I guess. And this is it, guys. Hope you liked the format of this video as it is a little unorthodox considering that it is not a straightforward review of a device nor this is a head-to-head spec comparison, but rather my opinion and observations based on my experience with these devices. If you like it, then please use that like button and subscribe, as I could really use those for my channel. Thank you and have a great day.